Hi, beautiful souls. It's Grada here with you, the Miracle FM. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, it's a chance for you to work in with me and to get to this beautiful place of stillness and lightness inside your body, where your nervous system gets a chance to relax and unwind. And I usually share a little practice that's going to help you bring out the best in you. And this week, I really want to share what I've been thinking about, and that's creating a sanctuary for yourself, somewhere where you can shelter, where you feel safe and protected. Because our planet right now, our whole society, the structure is melting away, and our planet is going through beautiful healing crisis, you could say. Well, it's not so beautiful when you're in it, but it's a much needed healing crisis that Mother Earth must have requested, and we're going through it like right now. So a sanctuary is just a beautiful, safe place, a protected place where you can go to and tune into your sacred energy, your sacred being, connect with the divine energy, and remember what your journey and your mission is here on earth, and really increase your frequency. So tonight I'm going to take you through a process that's very simple to do if you watch the replay, and it's going to help you to stay out of anxiety and to stay out of stress and overwhelm, and to help you to shine like a beacon as we're going through these stressful, difficult times. So first of all, remember to always have a corner in your house or a room that's dedicated to you, that is your sanctuary, like a place for you to relax, for you to unwind, for you to just connect with the universe and do your practices or your devotions, whatever you do, practice your tools of self-healing and self-growth. And so I have little corners all through the house, because I have the luxury now that my kids have grown up and it's just Pete and me. And just this week I spent time refreshing some of these corners. So now I have several corners in my house where it's just beautiful to sit. As soon as I sit down, I feel my nervous system unwind, and I start to connect with the divine being inside of me. So if you haven't got a little sanctuary or a corner somewhere that's totally yours, I'm going to ask you to create one tomorrow, and start getting some inspiration. So in my corner I usually have a candle going, because as soon as you have like a little flame going, you don't feel alone and you feel connected to the light. And I usually have some crystals, some photos of my loved ones, and I have one of these like sound bowls to change the energy in the room. And I have a smudge stick like of sage or essential oils, whatever, just anything. Shells are great. If you have a shell like that you pick up from the beach, it doesn't matter how tiny it is. If you have a shell in your aura, your heart center is always open. So if you want to have a heart to heart with your bestie, and you can actually create the container by having some shells in your pocket, because that means your heart center is open and your bestie's heart center is also open. So that's a nice little trick that you can use, and nobody needs to know about it. So just create something like that, and then teach your children or anybody else, this is like my sacred space, and this is where I tune in and where I recharge my batteries. I can't recommend it enough. And then of course, once you're in your sacred space, in your sanctuary, you have to remember that you are also a sanctuary. So you're a human being, and human beings, in my opinion, were created as a place where heaven and earth meet. And when heaven and earth meet, something miraculous happens, and that's all going on inside our lives. So never be distracted by the outside world and forget that you're the mating place for heaven and earth. You're a wonderful, wonderful sanctuary, and it's important that you remember you in the first place need to be safe for yourself. So I was reminded of that because this week I cleaned up my house a bit and I came across this photo, and it's like me when I was 31 with 5 little kids, and Tom was in my tummy. I think Tom was about to be born, so really 6 children. So there you go. You can see it here. I think I was 31 there. And so now with the hindsight, now that I'm a wise woman, I'm wiser, I can see that my intention was always to make sure my children had a wonderful childhood. That was my mission and purpose, that they were safe, always that they had a sanctuary. I always wanted my house to be warm and cozy and clean, or cooking dinner. I was a wonderful cook. I loved fulfilling that role, but in hindsight I can see that I missed out on looking after number one, and that was myself. So while I was creating a sanctuary for the children and being a wonderful mom to them as much as I could at the time, in the back of beyond, and we lived in the woods. We lived like way off the beaten track on a dead end road in a somewhere in the woods, and that was my choice, by the way, because I wanted my children to be protected from the world. I didn't protect me from me. I didn't make life safe for me. I didn't, because nobody had taught me how to do that. So while I had a beautiful sanctuary for the kids, I wasn't a safe person to be with for me, because I didn't rest enough. I didn't appreciate myself. I criticized myself. I had so much shame in my body. I didn't love myself, because, by the way, loving yourself wasn't promoted in the church. I was I was a member in a very, very strict fundamentalist Christian church, and loving yourself wasn't really in the workbook, and so on. So I was running on empty a lot, and eventually, my story probably, like, when I was 45, so that was 14 years after that photo here with all my beautiful children, I got hit by a truck, and my sanctuary, my body was busted into a million bits, you could say, and my life came to a standstill, and it was a big wake-up call for me. I realized, I thought I was doing the right thing all the time, but I had been neglecting the cries of my body, the cries of my soul, the cries of my heart. I had really been neglecting myself and not being safe for me. And so I had to start afresh. I had to go on a new journey of putting myself together again. And I am so grateful, by the way, that I went through that horrible experience, because every day now I am excited. I'm learning so many new things, and I have the ability now to grow in the space to grow. So my plea tonight is that you learn from my mistakes, learn to put yourself first, like self-care is important. Rest more, like when you get a chance to rest. If the present me had to say anything to the young version, I would say drop everything and rest. Have way more sleep. Stop criticizing and judging yourself, and just love yourself a lot more. So that also means how I do this now, because of course the old Grada wants to pop up a lot of the time. So when she pops up, I will just talk to her directly, and I will say things to her like, okay, there you are again. Yeah, I can see you. How old are you today? And so quite often there will be an inner child, so there might be an 8-year-old. Then I have a little conversation with my 8-year-old, and then I'll say, okay, off you go now, and you go and do your thing, and I'm going to sit here with a cup of tea and just put my feet up, and I am just going to rest or something like that. So today, this is how I create my inner sanctum, my innermost being. I've come to learn to respect it, and I can't get enough time, honestly, to spend by myself. I love being by myself, and I love feeling safe inside my body, and rebuilding myself from the inside out. So first of all, have a sanctuary in your home. Then remember that you are a sanctuary in your body. And so in a minute, I'll take you through an exercise. And then inside the sanctuary, it's a place of alchemy, right? So alchemy means where heaven and earth meet, and something beautiful takes place inside there. So alchemy means a transmutation. So something is changed from one thing into the next. So let's say the old alchemists in the Middle Ages, they always wanted to turn lead or something, a dirty metal, into gold. That's where the name alchemy comes from. And so tonight what I want to do is I want you to think of some feelings, like a stressful, negative feeling, like, let's say, like dirt, like something dark and negative. I want you to choose something that trips you up a lot, and then we're going to alchemize that energy into a beautiful feeling of light, relaxation, rest, a nourishing feeling that's going to build your nervous system up. Inside our body, inside our bloodstream, all feelings are a chemical, right? So whether you know that or not, whether you like it or not, we have no say over this. Chemistry is happening non-stop, and it's mostly driven by feelings and emotions. And as our world is going through a healing crisis, and we're caught up in it, plus we're going through our own healing journeys, there are always so many chemicals like that surface. And tonight I want to focus on the negative chemicals, the negative emotions, and I want you to be really, really honest about it. So for instance, just think about social media or people arguing, or you might, things get heated up, messages get a bit nasty and so on. So, or it can happen at work as well, or at home in your relationships. I just want you to pick out 2 or 3 negative emotions that are chemicals in your body that are running the show, and we can alchemize them into the opposite. Okay, so the opposite of anger, for instance, and frustration, the opposite of that is peace and rest. The opposite to sadness, if you're feeling a lot of sadness, the opposite of that is joy. So we can alchemize it into joy. The opposite of fear is love. So if you have fear and anxiety and worry and so on, we can alchemize that into love. And the opposite of shame and guilt is often freedom or innocence, or you can come up with your own version of that, because shame and guilt, they're big ones, and they often, they really, really pull us down. They're often stuck in our body and we're not conscious of it. We're just conscious that we don't have any energy or that we're feeling flat. And that often means there's like a little bit of sneaky shame or a bit of sneaky guilt happening. So in our body is our sanctuary, right? And when we have negativity or stress, it's very hard to disconnect from it. And the whole point is that we do not disconnect from it, but this is what we taught at school or by society, right? But I am here to tell you that it's impossible to disconnect from negativity, because our body is more than just our mind. It's our mind, it's our circumstances, it's our history. Everything is in our body. That's the great meeting place. So so the whole purpose is not to disconnect from it, but the opposite. In fact, you're better off connecting with it, turning towards that chemical. Let's just see it as a chemical, and then alchemize it or transmute it into a positive, a beautiful feeling, a chemistry that supports your body. And this can happen inside your sanctuary. So I hope I've made that clear, but I'll write in the description, and let's just do it. So first of all, I want you to close your eyes and become aware of your body. And your body is a beautiful sanctuary because you're a sacred, multi-dimensional being. You're a mixture of heaven and earth. You're a meeting place for your ancestors, history and present circumstances and future. It's all happening inside your body. And just bring your awareness further back, so towards the back of your body, where it feels more restful. It's always more restful in the back of your body. So behind your eyes. And I'm starting to feel so restful now that I'm forgetting what I was going to share with you. But what I want you to do is now come from the inside out of your body. So from the back of your body, and just feel how far your aura is, how big your magnetic field is. This is your protection, your magnetic bubble. So I want you to bring it out to about half an arm's length, so not very big. So see where I am? I want this to be the edge of your bubble, your sanctuary. So we're making it quite small. So imagine your inner light, you have your inner light, and it doesn't go any further than this, so like half an arm's length. And inside this bubble, the sanctuary, your sanctuary, the energy is very, very potent. So just imagine putting a glass wall around it or something like that. Put a boundary there all around. Now you can visualize yourself as an egg, like an oval shape, or just for fun tonight, you can imagine a pyramid. Tonight I'm doing a pyramid, so it's coming together in the top, and then it gets wider at the bottom because I really feel the need for grounding. So imagine you're sitting in a beautiful pyramid. This is your own light, and it's becoming 100 times more potent, and now it's becoming 1,000 times more potent, and now it's becoming 1,000,000 times more potent. Now think of a word or a person or a situation that caused a negative chemical in your body. So for instance, I'm choosing anger. Okay, and I feel that here, I'm just choosing the chemical anger. I'm not really connecting it to any situation. I'm conscious of it, that it's here. And so what I'm going to do now, I have energy coming out of my hands. Everyone has that, so just connect with the energy between your hands. Right, we all have energy coming out of our hands. It's like divine energy, and I'm projecting that into my forehead. And my anger is now alchemizing. Now it's going into nothingness. I feel nothing. And now I'm starting to feel very, very relaxed. And when I'm looking for that old anger, I can't find it anymore. It's gone. And instead, I'm feeling very expanded and restful now. Restful and relaxed. And so I hope you could follow what I was doing. So we can do that again. So first of all, think of a word or a negative feeling, a negative chemical that you're struggling with. Something might have been said during the week or a situation that triggered you. All right. keep that word there. So now ask your body, where does that sit in my body? So I'll make some suggestions, because sometimes people struggle where it sits. They think it's out here somewhere, but it isn't out there. It sits in our body somewhere, in the tissues of our body. So for instance, tension will often show in your neck muscles, the back of your neck, your shoulders. Sadness will often sit in your heart center, in your breasts. Fear will often sit in your tummy, so then you have to drop down into that, and so on. Knee pain can often be caused by heartbreak and sorrow, because it's from your heart that overflows and it gets stuck in the knees, and so on. So I'm just giving you some hints, so just be really, really honest. This is your chance to sweep out your sanctuary, okay? So think of a word. So I'll choose another one just as an example, so you choose yours. So I'm just going to say tension, right? And I imagine it's in the back of my neck. And so I'm sitting in my pyramid of my own potent energy, and it's got a border around it, so you've already got all of that. So tune back into your body. First, if you're just watching the replay now, just tune into the center of your body towards the back, or further back, and that's you connect now with the divine energy. So now the divine energy is coming from the inside out, and we're giving it a border. So we don't want it out very far, and it's very potent. So imagine you're sitting in a glass bubble or a glass pyramid. I'm sitting in a pyramid tonight because I want grounding. And the energy is very potent. Now I choose the word tension, and I feel that in the back of my neck. So my hands are fully charged, so are yours. So there's energy coming out. And I'm simply sending that energy into the tension in my neck. Okay, so maybe you can see that. So here in my hands, it's going in. And so the tension is now turning into a sense of release. Okay, I can feel it do little circles in my neck muscles. And so the tension is being released as it's leaving my body. New space is opening up, and I want to fill it up with something good. So the opposite of tension would be a sense of freedom, a sense of relaxation, a sense of safety. And so always fill that empty space up with a real positive, so that exact opposite of how you started the session. And this is how you become a safe person for yourself, and you're alchemizing issues in your tissues, you're transmuting it, and as you're doing that, you're really fast forwarding the healing crisis that our planet is going through at the moment, and you're bringing in the new reality. So people are talking about 5D, or the fifth dimension, which will be a reality of unity, where we feel more like one. We feel that interconnectedness, and people are operating in a spirit of cooperation, and we are driven more by care and love rather than selfishness and competition. So that's what we're heading into, and you can help us speed up that process by doing your own inner work. So thank you everyone, thank you Jane for watching, and I'll put a little script in the bottom so you can follow that, and then you can keep practicing this and keep finding yourself in your own sacred space and become addicted to it, and then your life will turn around. You become a magnet for love and light. Thanks for tuning in everyone, and let me know if you have any questions, and I really look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a good week. Love you all. Bye bye. See you.